I am that I am. And I am divinity. And so are you. Can you claim that, dear friend? Can you claim for yourself, I am divinity? I am John's soul, John's divinity, and John. Sometimes John calls me Master Anna, in honor of the feminine, of the feminine nature of me, of his soul. Sometimes he calls me Master John, in honor of the fact that he and I are blended together and are living on earth as a master. Oh, but the human has all these ideas about what it means to be a master. Mostly, the human thinks being a master is about having power over life, over the flow of life, over the people around you, and especially over yourself. Oh, that's the big one. How can you be a master when you have no power over yourself? You have all these bad habits, all these failures, or you think you do. How could you possibly be a master? Well, let's clear some of that up today. Because all of that is irrelevant. A master has no power, including over self. Hear that? A master has no power, including over him or herself. Now you keep longing for your soul to join you in this life so that you can have its power. Make your life better from the human perspective. It's not going to happen because soul, divinity, has no power. None at all. And it's not here to improve the human life. It's here to experience the human life. At some point, as you own your mastery, as you own your divinity, at some point the human life gets much, much easier. But it's not because all your problems go away. because you start to realize that there are no problems. There's simply experience. And now, as you claim your divinity, you have wisdom. Different kind of wisdom. The mind doesn't even recognize it. The mind thinks of wisdom as human understanding. That's not wisdom. That's a game. You've gotten very good at playing this game on earth. And you think that's wisdom. It's not. Your wisdom goes far, far deeper than that. Wisdom comes from every experience you have ever had, distilled by your soul, by your divinity, and brought now to you as the still, small voice of knowing. It's not a voice at all, but that's an expression a human understands, sort of. Knowing isn't a voice. Knowing, it's a sensation. It's a sense, a soul sense. And it's here for you now. Oh, and it combines not only the distilled wisdom from every experience you have ever had in all of your existence, it also combines all the senses of your soul. You've heard of those senses. The human is aware of 5 or maybe 6 senses. They're all really just part of the human sense, the one human sense. Your soul has hundreds of thousands of senses. The human, you have been so focused here that this human sense, it's like a neon light. It blinded you to all the rest of them. Well, now, your soul is here. And it brings with it all of those senses. You wonder why you've been feeling so sensitive lately. Why everything feels kind of crazy lately. It's because those senses are here now. But your mind doesn't know what to do with them. It doesn't know how to interpret them. They come as sensations, as feelings. And the mind doesn't know what to do with real feelings. The mind has its stories, lots and lots of stories. And it makes up feelings to go with those stories. It imagines feelings around those stories. It remembers sensations. And it imagines how it must have felt like to have that sensation in those experiences. but it's imagined. It's what we call emotions. They're not real. Oh, you turn them into real experiences. Your body feels them, and your brain floods your body with chemicals that accentuate them, that feed them. But they're not real. They're based on a story. And a story, it's not real. Oh, parts of it happened. Parts of it you experienced. But there's so much you don't even remember about those experiences. And most of the details, your mind makes up in the moment. Your soul doesn't remember details so much. Even in your present life, you look back over your life, you have all these memories. John has been surprised sometimes when he has such clear memories of things. And then he talked with someone else who went through those things with him. Or he looked back even at the things that he wrote down or that somebody else wrote down about those experiences in the past. And he's surprised at how much his own mind changed them. So, those are emotions. Those are not wisdom or knowing. No, they're not bad, they're just part of your experience. And now you have access to something so much deeper. But in order to let that in, you have to claim it. You have to own it. You have to say, I am divinity. I am my soul. I am my wisdom. I am the master. No, not the master over anyone else, but the master of me. Not over me. I am the master just as I am. I'm not the master because I have everything figured out, or because I don't make mistakes. Well, I don't make mistakes because there are no mistakes. There's just experiences. And when you own that and acknowledge that to yourself, whatever words work for you, then you will be the master. Because being a master is not about how you act. John was interacting with someone not too long ago, and they were always saying, a real master would do this or that, or a real master would never do that other thing, whatever it was. John realized that, there's one way, one foolproof way to spot a fake master. Meaning, someone who's trying to act like a master but doesn't really get it. And that way is, this person is always going around saying what a master would do, how a master would act, how a master would behave. And that's just proof that they don't understand. The master does whatever they want to do because they know it doesn't matter. They know it's just an experience. There is no good or bad. There's no right or wrong. There's just experience. And a master knows that. So master doesn't go around telling people what a master would do, for the most part. A master is simply themselves. But they know that who they are is divine, just as they are. Not some way that they should be. Not, Master is not good. Master is not a good person or a bad person. Master just is. They go through human life however they choose. Sometimes they make choices that feel like mistakes, but they're not. They're just experiences. Humans love to go around calling people names. She's an energy feeder. He's a narcissist. She's a bully. They can't possibly be masters. Well, they can. Some of them are. Masters tend to not play those games any more than they have to in order to get along in human life. They tend to see through them. But that doesn't make them a master. What makes them a master is their acceptance of self. Well, most of those destructive games come from exactly from the lack of acceptance of self. They come from deep insecurity. And so the master, in the acceptance of self, tends to not play those games. Unless they choose to. Because it's what their divinity chooses in the moment. Master understands this is all a game. Just a game. There simply is no right or wrong. Master understands that I am divinity, no matter what. even when I don't understand that. To be clear, the Master understands that for themselves. John wants to be clear that we're not claiming this for you. When we say, I am divinity, that's for us. That's for John and I, his soul. And we're asking you to claim that for yourself. Not that John is your divinity at all, but that you are your divinity. Claim that. Take it in. You are God also, as the dear Tobias reminded us. You are the Master. Whenever you are ready to own that for yourself, just the way you are. You will not be the Master when you get everything right in your life. That will not make you the Master. You will not be the Master when all your problems are solved, or when your life turns into peaches and cream, as they say. No, that doesn't make you the Master. What makes you the Master is when you accept yourself just the way you are. So let's have a little experience here. Perhaps John will add some music to the recording for a background. I'd like you to feel within yourself feel back in human time. Feel back through your many lifetimes. They're all there. Even if your mind can't come up with any details about them, they're still there. Allow the feelings and the sensations to flow through you. Allow your awareness to move back in time. So many lifetimes, so many amazing experiences. Some were beautiful, some were horrible. They all showed you another part of who you are. Everyone. So allow your awareness to move further back. Before Earth even existed, you were what you call an angel. Yes. Angels aren't anybody special, they're just beings like you who don't currently have a body. You are. The biggest part of you is, in fact, an angel right now. Lives in these other realms. It exists there. And now, for the first time, it's bringing that awareness into you. So allow your awareness to flow back through your angelic awareness. There's no time there as you know it, but there is a sequence of experience. Allow your awareness to move back through those experiences. Oh, there were great battles that were fought. There was so much. Because you were exploring yourself. Along with all of these others. You created. You're each sovereign beings. And everything you perceive is your creation. That you and the others created this thing you call mass consciousness. And it began long, long before Earth, before humans were even thought of. It was a template to guide your creation, so that you and the others could all create something similar, something you could talk about. Something you could play in and have a kind of a shared experience. Oh, so many experiences. So let your awareness float back. Back before even that. Sequence of experience. Back to that point where you existed as simple, pure awareness. We call it consciousness. Consciousness and awareness are synonyms here. You were pure consciousness and you became aware of yourself. You asked yourself, who am I? There was no one else around you, no one else in your perception. There was no thing, there was no energy, there was nothing. And even that is too much of a definition. There simply wasn't anything but awareness. You asked yourself, who am I? And instantly, because it is a physic of existence, there cannot be a question unless there is also an answer. And that's something to remember in your human life. Sometimes it takes a little time for you to discover the answer, but it's always there. If there's any question in your life, you also have the answer. You just have to let it in. So here you were. Suddenly, there was this being in front of you. You looked in their eyes and you realized it was part of you. And it said, I am going to go out and discover who I am, who we are. And it turned. Wrong words. It didn't turn. There was nowhere to turn to. It simply dove in. It dove in to consciousness, to awareness, to you, the soul, to you, yourself. It dove in. Oh. Now, we've talked about this before. The words are very limited. It's a metaphor. Don't get too literal about any of this. You dove into yourself. And you began to imagine. No, you didn't deliberately say to yourself, I'm going to imagine a world with a house on it, with cars and all these things humans think about. No, you didn't plan it out. You simply started letting your imagination flow. And you discovered that what you imagined became real, in a sense. You dove into it. You discovered the others. You started feeling them because they were doing the same thing. You began to communicate. You called it the song of you and the song of them. Their songs blended together, created harmonies and resonances, and that became the framework that you call mass consciousness. These resonances, they created gravity. They created matter. They created universes. And you danced together to your songs. And you played together. And you fought together. Because every being has its own ideas. Again, poor word choice, but it's what we have as humans. Had their own imaginings of how things should be. And they rarely matched. Sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't. You didn't know what to do with that, so you battled the ones you didn't like. There came to be intense wars until creation started to slow down. And in panic, you called all the others together. Said, we need to understand what's happening here. And so Earth was created. And you came here. We came here. Place where we could dive so deep into self. Look around you at the world. It's all self. You think it's something else, something outside of you. It's all you. Every bit of it. It's all yourself. You look at all these people. They're you. Now, the being behind them, the being that they are, is sovereign. It's not you. It's something else. Its own being. But the reflections of them, the avatars of them that you see in your life, they are you. They are your creations intended to reflect these others. And they have their reflections of you. And they don't always match. Because they bring their perception to these reflections, and you bring your perception to these reflections, and that's why they see you so different than you see yourself. And so often they misunderstand you, and you misunderstand them. Because you think it's the other person, and it's actually you. And a reflection of your own perception of them. Keep that in mind in your human interactions, and they'll go better. So here you are. You created this planet. You came here, you dove deeper than ever before. And you went through lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. Playing out your creations. Discovering how energies work. And now here you are. You've come to the conclusion, if you are here, if you are resonating with anything we're saying, you have come to the conclusion of your journey. Your journey of discovery. You see, you are the experiencer. You are the one who said, I am going to dive in and discover who I am. Well, there is, for lack of a better expression, the other half of you. It often gets confused with things you call soulmates, with other beings with whom you feel resonance because you've been friends for so long. But no, the other half of you, the only other half of you, is your soul, for lack of a better word. People have many definitions for that word, but for us, it refers to that part of you that, in a sense, stayed behind and went to sleep in a sense. Words. It stayed behind to hold the purity of you. To hold the cord, so to speak, so that you couldn't get lost. You felt lost so many times. But your soul has always been there. Has always held the cord for you. So in a sense, it stayed behind. And now, it's time to come home. You've been coming home for a while. Now it's time to own it. So feel once again this moment where you dove in. Seems so long ago. It was actually only a breath ago. Because it is outside of time. Outside of time. So feel this moment. Allow your awareness to float quickly through all of that experience. Started out knowing nothing. Like a newborn baby, there was nothing for you to know because nothing had been created yet. You went through all of that experience, learning how to create, discovering the others, learning how to create with them. Coming to Earth, diving so deep with all these others, because creating with them turned out to be quite a challenge, but it showed you so many parts of you. So here you are. You know who you are now. The human goes, really? I'm not sure I know. But you do. You do know. And your soul knows now, and that's the important thing. Because your soul is you. And realization of who you are. It's not a human thing, it's a soul thing. But it comes from the experience of the human. Here you are, you and your soul said this is the time to bring this all together. So feel yourself back in front of your soul. This grand being, this brilliant light that is your soul. So much love. Oh, you brought love to your soul. You taught her how to love. She took that and learned how to love herself. And that is what brought you to this point. So here you are. Just let your imagination flow. Feel this brilliant being standing in front of you. It may seem very feminine to you because she is the true feminine facet of you. See the smile on her face. See her arms opening so wide. Oh, this is a surprise for the human because the human sees itself as so small, so insignificant. Yet, do you know what your soul thinks of when it hears the word divinity? It thinks of you. Because that's who you are. You are the one who brought all of this experience, all of this wisdom back home to you. Oh, you've longed for so long, you've longed to come home. Oh, you thought you were longing for a soulmate, for another human to love you. What you were really, truly longing for is this. Your own soul, your own divinity. And now here you are. Let it in. Allow this grand being to wrap her arms around you. Feel her gratitude. Feel her joy. Feel her absolute, total acceptance of you. Just the way you are. Feel her love. Feel in her the reflection of your own grandness. Oh, you're so much more than this little insignificant human you thought you were. You are your soul. Oh, we talk in terms of duality because that's what the human understands. But the truth is, it was all you. All the time, all the way. It was all you. We had to create this illusion of separation, and this illusion of time and space. We had to create it so that we could have the experiences. So you could separate them out into individual units, you could say. But it was all you, all the way, all along. Feel now the blending as your soul wraps her arms around you. You wrap your arms around her. Feel the blending as you meld together into one being. One incredible being. This grand being, so full of experience. So full of wisdom, so full of light, so brilliant. That's you. That's That's who you are. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home, dear human. And welcome home, dear soul. You've both been longing for so long to take down that veil, to blend back together into your oneness, your wholeness. Now it's here. It's not something you earn. You don't have to be a good person to have it. You don't have to get anything right. You don't have to solve any problems to be home. To be whole. To be grand. All you have to do is claim it. Own it. Look in the mirror and proclaim it. I am divinity. I am grand. Many memories come up that seem to deny that. But they're just memories. They've already been integrated. It's time to stop talking about aspects. They're just memories. And you can let them go now. They're you. They're just parts of you that show you another facet of who you are. That's all. Love them. Breathe them in and move on. And now, bring your awareness. Hold this awareness of home, of oneness with you, with your soul, your divinity. Hold this awareness. There is no God, there is no being anywhere in all of existence that is grander than you, dear friend. Nowhere, ever. You are not grander than the others. But none of them are grander than you. And it's time to own that. It's time to acknowledge that for yourself. So hold this awareness of home, of you blended together, of you, this grand, incredible one being. No more division within you. No more duality. Just you. Hold this vision, this feeling, and bring your awareness also back to your human. Now, this little person walking around on this little planet called Earth, it feels small because its perceptions are so limited. But they're opening up quickly. That's making it a little crazy. A lot crazy. Because it doesn't know what to do with all of these incredible feelings and senses that you now have. As the human, feel your soul's presence within you. It's not outside, it's not some other being. You won't find it there anymore. It's you. As you open up to it, you'll start to see your human life different. You'll start to see that there's no need for battles anymore. There's no problems anymore. Oh, there will be lots of circumstances and experiences that come along in your human life because that's what you're here for. That's what Earth was created for. But they're not problems anymore. Even though the mind will forget and it'll jump up and say, oh no, look at that problem coming at me. What do I do about it? That's when you take a breath. Come back to this feeling of home. You and your soul as one. And you allow the solutions to come. You allow the experiences. You allow the flow to carry you. And you trust. Whatever comes. You don't lay down and roll over or turn the other cheek when people abuse you. And your friend Yeshua has always regretted that statement. Well, he said it was appropriate for the time, but you're the master now. You don't have to turn the other cheek. You don't have to roll over and submit to the others. But you also don't have to battle with them. Be clear in you. You are grand. You are a grand being, as grand as there is in all of existence. You don't have to submit to anyone. If you battle them, well, you'll have a battle. If you allow you, be clear, be you, and come back home to this feeling of home. You are already home. But just bring that feeling back into your awareness, to your human awareness. And watch how things work out. There's so much else going on in all of these experiences. So many other factors that the human can't possibly be aware of. Can you trust that? Can you trust that everything that comes to you, everything that happens to you, everything in your life is in perfect divine order? Can you trust that? Even when it looks horrible, even when it's terrifying to the human, even when it feels like failure, can you trust that it's in divine order and stand tall in your own grandness? Let go of the battles. You don't need them. But you also don't need to roll over and submit to other people's ideas of power. It's your creation. Whatever you think they're doing to you, it's you. You can let it go now. It's just based on memories. Memories, well, they're not real. They're only a tiny fragment of what actually happened. They don't need to be part of your life anymore. So breathe them in. Love this part of you that's showing itself to you. And you will discover that there simply are no more problems, because they all take care of themselves. They all come to their resolution naturally. All you have to do is be present. Float in the river of life, of your life. Let it carry you. There are times when it takes you through the rapids and over the waterfalls. Other times it slows way down, and sometimes you even get caught in a little eddy somewhere and feel like you're going nowhere, or even backwards. It's all just part of the river. It's part of the flow. Can you trust that? It's you. Can you trust you? You wonder why all these aspects are still controlling your life. They're not. You're just not trusting your life. You're here on Earth because Earth is chaotic. And you wanted that. You wanted this grand adventure. Now it's time to trust it. And watch how that changes it. It might still be chaotic and crazy, but you won't be struggling with it anymore. And you'll be smiling as you watch all of these things in your life resolve themselves in beautiful ways. So, as you move forward in your life, remember this feeling of home. Come back and listen to this recording again if you feel it. If you need a reminder. And welcome home. Welcome home, dear friend. If you'd like some more experiences, some more reminders, we have some beautiful classes. We have an ongoing class called I Am Divinity. As of the date of this recording, we have a workshop coming up in Slovenia. in about a month. And it's all about this opening to soul. Discovering freedom. Discovering the new love. That's what it's going to be all about. If it calls you, trust that. And if it doesn't, trust that too. But as you go forward in your life, keep this vision of home. Home with your soul, home as your soul. Home as this grand, incredible being. John's seeing an image of a king in his mind. He might see an image of a queen. It doesn't matter. You are that being, whole and complete, divine. It's just one thing to remember. This being has no power. None at all. Because it doesn't need power. Power is an illusion. It's not going to come in and fix everything in your life. It's going to show you how there is nothing in your life that needs fixed. Nothing at all. And then that's how you will experience it. So, if you have trouble feeling it, just stop for a few minutes. Take a deep breath and imagine it. Make it up. It'll be real. Where do you think that imagination comes from? It's real. So make it up. So often we do these private sessions with people. We channel their soul. The person says, how can I communicate with you directly? How can I feel you more? The answer is, make it up. Imagine it. Write down your question. Then imagine your soul and ask yourself, what would my soul say here? And write it down. You might be surprised. You will be surprised. Because you and your soul are one right now. There is no more integration. There is simply allowing you to be you. Acknowledging that it is done. It is finished. And you're just getting used to that. That's all. And having a new kind of experience just for the fun of it. And that's why you're here right now. And because the world needs your light. The world needs the light of some blended and whole beings. Because the entire world is changing. It's going through its own, you can call it ascension. It's a strange word, but it's going through its own enlightenment, its own waking up. And these people need some lights to guide them. Another bad word. They simply need some lights to shine on their path. And that's you. So, welcome home. And so it is.